People find it annoying going to the washroom when they are doing something important. But can you even imagine that going to the washroom could save a person from a confirmed death? If not, then this story will amaze you for sure. Let us tell you about some backstory before. The Gulf of Guinea in the southeast Atlantic Ocean is rich with petroleum-laden layers of sedimentary seabed, and hence many firms are invested in extraction of crude oil in such areas. On May 26, 2013, about 20 miles away from the Nigerian shore, 3 boats sailed for extraction purposes. Because of ongoing piracy problems in the Gulf, security protocol on the tugboat was that the 12-man crew with 4 men on each boat would lock themselves in their room when sleeping. When all of them were sleeping, the vessel's cook, Harrison Okene, got up to use the bathroom in his underwear. While Harrison was in the bathroom, he listened to a thud, and suddenly his bathroom started getting flooded. He identified that the boat was flooded, and in order to escape, he started trying to open the metal door, which was jammed at the moment. He felt like he was going to be stuck there forever, but miraculously the door opened and water pushed Harrison down a narrow hallway into another bathroom. He was injured and dazed and confused as well as how he got there in an instant, but luckily he was alive, but trapped in a 4-square-foot bathroom whose door was tightly locked, not letting the water come over the shoulder level of Harrison. The boat sank nearly 100 feet underwater, and Harrison was there hanging between life and death. When the news came out, a search operation was urgently initiated and a diving crew went underwater to find if there was anyone alive. Sensing their presence, Harrison knocked the door with all his strength, but divers didn't listen and later declared that everyone was dead as no one made any signal. The rescue was called off due to no evidence of survivors, but Harrison was still there. After nearly a day of being in the bathroom, Harrison got up the courage to leave and get into the engineer's office, where he found another air pocket. Now, Harrison had sufficient air, but the shivering cold was unbearable, as Harrison had no choice but to stay at the 25 degrees Celsius cold Atlantic water. Shivering, wet, and wearing only boxer shorts, Harrison faced hypothermia. Hungry, thirsty, cold, and stuck in complete darkness, Harrison was terrified. As a religious person, he started praying to God as hope, but was broken from inside as well. After 36 hours, he started smelling rotting bodies, which he instantly realized as his friends' decomposing flesh. And now the smell of rotting flesh was the new addition of problems for the already devastated Harrison. Every small sound in the dark was magnified, and even a splash of water felt like a paranormal experience at that mental state. About 45 hours later, West African Ventures, the company owning all the boats that sank, hired a deep-sea diving team to retrieve the bodies of the lost crew members. The team consisted of 6 divers who went underwater for the search operation, and the mission was estimated to be about a couple of hours long. About 59 hours after the accident, divers went inside the water, and on the other hand, Harrison was just on the verge of death, as his legs and lower half was nearly paralyzed due to being in the extreme cold water. His prayers were fainting, eyes were closing, and the hopes were just diminishing. But then, all of a sudden, he heard something he didn't expect at that moment. He heard people approaching towards him, and he realized that someone was in the water the moment he was just dying. He tried to listen carefully to confirm his hope, and after a few seconds, when voices of divers were more clear, he realized that it was the moment when he will have to survive. His hands were left with no energy as he neither ate nor drank properly for nearly the last 60 hours. But there was no time to think about it at the moment, as it was his final chance to get out. He collected all his strength and started beating the door at the maximum force possible, which was not the strongest, but loud enough so the divers could notice. And luckily, they did. Listening to the knocking sound, one of the divers swiftly approached near the door of Harrison's ship and started tracing him. Divers faced the problem tracing the sound as the accident site was really messy. But after 5 minutes of trail, they at last found Harrison Okene, the one and only survivor to do so in the modern history. They were shocked themselves after finding him, as there was not even the slightest hope that someone could survive after effects of such a tragic accident for a straight 60 hours. But it looked like all those prayers Harrison said to God were listened to, and so he was rescued. All 6 divers came close and collectively pulled out the half-dead Harrison above the ocean, from where he was instantly rushed to the hospital for further treatments. Even after the survival, he was kept in the water simulator so he could not face a cardiac arrest due to change in conditions rapidly. But after 2 days of the proper medical treatment, he was declared fine and was discharged from the hospital. Since then, Harrison did hundreds of interviews and told his survival story to thousands of people. And somehow, these stories motivate us to never lose hope. And because of such an attitude only, Harrison was the lone survivor even in those harsh conditions. Well, if you were in place in Harrison, then would you be able to survive 60 crucial hours in such claustrophobic underwater conditions? Let me know in the comments below.